Hey guys, welcome back to my next book preview video. This week we're going to take a look at the Terryl Whitlatch books. So I've got Science of Creature Design, Understanding Animal Anatomy, Animals Real and Imagined, and last of all, Principles of Creature Design. So let's start with the Science of Creature Design, Understanding Animal Anatomy. Quick look at the cover there as we always do. These are soft cover books, of course. And they're also absolutely massive and horizontal, which makes them nice and difficult to fit into the display on camera. So before we start, there is the contents if you want to pause the video and take a proper look through. This one does have a foreword by Aaron Blaise. A lot of you guys will be familiar with Aaron's work. So yeah, these are pretty big books. This one in particular is 160 pages and is not one of the bigger ones compared to the other two. So I thought I'd start with this one. And these books are just absolutely full of Terryl's work. For those of you who are not familiar with her work, you will have seen it on a lot of movies, especially if you are a fan of Star Wars, especially the movies, in fact. I do have the art of books for Star Wars, and she's got quite a lot of creature design in there. So yes, as I'm sure you guessed, she is a creature design artist, and an extremely good one at that. And I was going to actually record this as 3 different videos originally. I bought these 3 books a while ago and I've never actually looked through them. I thought it'd be a pretty good opportunity whilst I'm looking through them just to record it. Not that I can stop and appreciate this properly from a preview. But I figured there's already some videos of some of the books on YouTube in a little bit more depth. So I won't record each one individually unless you guys want to see anything more specific. So we're just having a quick flick through of these, and as always I'm only previewing so many pages, only a small fraction of these ones in fact because they are so big. Wait until you see the last one. And before I forget, I actually have quite a lot of other book preview videos, especially on fundamentals of creature design and fantasy creatures. This one in particular is one of my most popular videos, so I'll put links to those in the description box below. Check those out. And this one I really like out of the 3 books. I mean, I like them all anyway from what I've seen, but I know this one does have this chapter on dinosaurs. I always think there's not really enough content out there for artists regarding dinosaurs, or there is, but it's a little bit tricky to find the reference of for obvious reasons, or at least anatomically correct reference, whereas someone like this artist obviously knows the anatomy very well. So let's move on to the next book quickly. Okay, so Animals Real and Imagined. So quick look at the front and back there. This one isn't a brand new copy, so it is a little bit yellowed. And the price on there says about £25. I don't know how correct that is at the time of recording this. They're pretty easy to get hold of, but I will put links in the description box below for those of you that want to get these copies. So this one actually starts with real animals. So yeah, Real and Imagined is the title of a lot of these books. But those of you who know character design, or creature design in fact, sorry, know that you have to have an understanding of real animal anatomy to be able to then change things and create these fantasy creatures to be believable at least. One of the books has a stylized section as well. I can't remember which one it is. We'll see as we go through. So I would describe her work as quite realistic. As mentioned, you know, taking real elements of things and changing them to come up with these new designs, you know, especially alien designs. As I say, Star Wars as a good example that could be there. They you know, they have a habitat, they have a story behind them. In fact, I'm just going back to the contents there because I didn't leave this one for you guys to check just in case you want to read through. This is the one that has a stylized one. It also has this section here which is like the sketchbook. This one in particular is pretty good for being able to read her notes, almost seeing her thinking process. So these books are really highly reviewed. They're really highly recommended for obvious reasons, but the few negative reviews I have seen are that the titles of the books sometimes give the impression that these are tutorial books. And I would say they're definitely a really good learning resource. But one of them in particular had slightly worse reviews because it had more of her work as a sort of gallery standpoint. And, you know, they're not really step-by-step tutorial books, if that's what people are expecting. But I actually think these are much better. You can see the breakdown. I don't know if I've already gone past them or if it's in a different book, but in particular, she's pretty good at showing a breakdown of the full covered anatomy, you know, the fur, the texture, then the muscles of the anatomy, and then the actual skeleton and things like that. So here we're on to the slightly stylized section, which looks more like it could be something from, you know, a Disney animation or things like that. And I guess that kind of comes back to like an Aaron Blaise style where he can do these really amazing realistic paintings of animals. He knows his anatomy really well. He knows everything about these animals, but he's also really good at creating these stylized Disney-esque characters. Okay, so let's move on to book 3 quickly. So we've got Principles of Creature Design, Creating Imaginary Animals. A quick look at the front and back again there. See if we can fit this one in camera. It's a little bit bigger than the others, and it's also about 230 pages. And it's noticeably heavier than the others when you've got it in your hands as well. Okay, so a quick look at the contents there. If you want to pause this video at all. In a galaxy far, far away. This one does have a decent section on Star Wars, but I think quite a few of them do. And you might actually recognize some of these characters because I've definitely seen them in other places, not just in movies, but in other art books and learning resources. I would imagine she's been featured in probably every magazine and art book going. So I won't show too much of this one because this video is probably getting way too long already. As mentioned, let me know if you want to see a specific one, in more detail, and I'll try and do that. As mentioned, despite some people thinking that these are more gallery work than, which I do understand on one of them like this, than actual tutorials, I would actually disagree. I think the amount you could learn from these books is just overwhelming. Just from studying her work, from redrawing it, trying to get an understanding. So these are the bits I was referring to earlier where we're seeing like the skeletons, the muscles. She's even named them, and then these ones with the actual skin textures or, whatever you want to call it. And that's the thing, because a lot of artists actually, you can draw something pretty easy if there's no limitations to it, if it doesn't have to be realistic. You could draw like any size limbs on a character if it looks cool and things like that, on a creature even. But I know a lot of like companies that hire these kind of artists want things that are functional. They have to have a backstory, they have to be able to move, they have to have a reason for their design, like an evolutionary reason and things like that. So if you're going to do it, you've got to do it right. And that's why I would recommend a book like this. I just think these are absolutely incredible. And let's be honest, the actual artwork itself is absolutely stunning. Yeah, there's some crazy designs, some beautiful, some are creepy, but that's exactly what you want. We've got a range of sketches, paintings, some real animals that are already around, some slight variations, some absolutely crazy designs. It's absolutely mad. You can probably get some of these for a pretty cheap price if you keep an eye out as well. Keep checking back on, various places. As mentioned, I'll put links below. Look at these. I remember seeing these ones when I did skip through before and thinking these were really cool. Almost like a concept artist doing different variations. And last of all, before I end the video, I wanted to show a little bit of the Galaxy Far Away Star Wars art. This was more just for me, but I thought some of you guys will probably appreciate it as well. So we'll just skip through a few of these before I end the video. So we've got some Jar Jar Binks designs there, which is really cool. I know he's not a favourite of a lot of people, but I do think the design work is still pretty good. So make sure you guys subscribe for more content like this. And aside from that, thank you for watching.